Most men spend their lives chasing the wrong kind of power. They think if they say the right words, flex the right muscles, earn the right status, they'll be seen, wanted, respected. But they miss something deeper, something that doesn't need to be said, something that radiates without effort. It's a power women feel before you even open your mouth, and it's not about what you do, it's about what you don't react to. It's about what lives in the silence between your words. That's the masculine calm. And it's rare. This calm isn't loud, flashy, or forceful. It doesn't need to be. It's subtle, but it's magnetic. It's the way a man carries himself. When nothing needs to be proven, it's the quiet confidence that doesn't come from ego, but from a deep relationship with stillness, with himself. When a woman senses this energy, it stirs something ancient in her. She can't always explain it, but her body reacts. Her mind starts to race. She wonders, what is it about him? Because it's not that you said something clever or looked a certain way. It's that you felt untouchable, unbothered. Rooted, women are emotional, not weak wild. They move like water, unpredictable, expressive, full of feeling. And in that chaos, they instinctively search for a man who doesn't move with every wave. A man who can remain still, present, while she flows. That contrast is what ignites attraction on a primal level. Not because you dominate her, but because you anchor her. And most men don't know how to do that. Most men are trying to swim when they should be standing firm. When you embody calm, you stop chasing storms. You become the place they return to, quietly, powerfully, again and again. Asterisk. The man who truly understands masculine calm doesn't chase anything, not attention, not approval, not even clarity. He doesn't beg for reassurance when a woman pulls back, and he doesn't spiral into insecurity when she seems distant. Instead, he leans back. He observes. He trusts. Not just in her, but in himself. He knows who he is. He knows what he brings. That unshakable self-trust is what separates him from the rest. Most men live in reaction, constantly trying to adjust, fix, explain, overthink. But the grounded man lives in response, calm, slow, intentional. He doesn't try to control the waves. He lets them move around him while he stays still. This man is not immune to emotion, but he's immune to emotional chaos. He doesn't get pulled into her mood swings or dragged down by her doubts. Instead, he becomes the mirror. Not cold, not disconnected, just aware. He sees her, but he isn't consumed by her. That alone makes him unforgettable. Because when a woman throws her emotional tests at a man, pulling away, creating distance, shifting energy, she's not always doing it to be difficult. Sometimes she's trying to feel your edges, to see if you bend, fold, or stand firm. Most men crack. They rush in with neediness, panic, or people-pleasing. But when you pass these tests without even realizing it, when you respond with presence instead of panic, she feels it on a deep, instinctive level. That's where trust begins. Not in words, but in emotional consistency. When she sees you're not moved by the wind, she starts to lean into your gravity. The calm man becomes her anchor, her quiet challenge, her safe mystery. And that mystery is often more intoxicating than any affection you could give. Asterisk masculine calm isn't about being emotionally numb or distant. It's not about shutting down or pretending you don't care. That's just another form of avoidance. Fear dressed up as control. True masculine calm is the opposite. It's full emotional ownership. You feel everything, but nothing owns you. You're not a prisoner to her moods, her tests, or the shifting dynamics of the relationship. But you can sit in the discomfort of tension without rushing to escape it. You can witness her emotion without scrambling to fix it. That's where your power lives, in your ability to hold the moment without needing to control it. So many men misunderstand this. They believe being a good man means constantly repairing every flicker of female emotion. They over-communicate, over-apologize, over-explain. They try to manage her experience like it's their job. But what women crave more than solutions is presence. Not the kind you fake with words, but the kind you embody through stillness, eye contact, breath, and patience. A man who isn't trying to fix her. A man who sees her, feels her, and stays. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need the perfect line. You don't even need to talk much. What matters is that you stay grounded while she moves, that you meet her fire with calm, not resistance. When you do that, she feels something deeper than approval. She feels safety. Not the boring kind, but the kind that gives her permission to fully express without fear. That's what feminine energy is secretly searching for, a masculine energy strong enough to hold her without needing to dominate or repair her. And when you give her that, she doesn't forget, because presence is rare. It's a man who leads with emotional depth instead of emotional reaction becomes unforgettable. Asterisk. She doesn't always know why she's thinking about you, but she is. In the quiet moments, in the silence before she falls asleep, in the spaces between texts, there you are. Not because you said something outrageous or made some dramatic move. It's because you didn't flinch. You didn't chase. You didn't try to control her. You held your position like a man who knows his value, doesn't rise or fall based on her attention. That level of emotional independence is intoxicating. It's not arrogance, it's not coldness. It's calm. And that calm draws her in with more force than any words ever could. When a man becomes deeply present, when he's rooted in himself, it creates emotional contrast. And contrast is what creates tension. Not the chaotic kind, but the kind that keeps her wondering, keeps her curious, keeps her feminine energy flowing. Feminine energy wants to feel, thrives in uncertainty, in emotional richness, in tension. And when your calm invites that depth without forcing anything, it allows her to explore herself through your energy. You're not entertaining her. You're challenging her softly, not by being loud or bold, but by being still. It's unavailable in a way that isn't rude, but respectful. There yet not grasping. That emotional distance is not neglect. It's space, and space is powerful. Most men try to fill it immediately with attention, validation, reassurance, but the man who lets silence breathe creates emotional gravity. She leans into that gravity. She wants to feel you closer, even though you haven't moved. She starts giving more, revealing more, chasing more, not because you demanded it, but because your calm invited it. And this is the paradox. The less you do, the more she feels. And the more you remain still, the more emotionally intense she becomes. That's the secret to real attraction. Let her come to you. Asterisk. There's something unforgettable about a man who doesn't need to be loud to be noticed. A man whose energy speaks louder than his words ever could. That kind of presence stays with her. Long after you leave the room, long after the messages fade, long after the excitement of newness wears off, she still feels you. Not because of what you gave her, but because of what you didn't give away. Your center, your control, your calm. When a man embodies true masculine calm, he becomes a rare presence in her world of constant noise and emotional chaos. And that presence echoes in her mind far louder than any man who tried to win her over. She starts wondering why your absence feels heavier than other men's presence. Why a quiet glance from you stirs more emotion than 1,000 compliments from someone else. It's because calm is uncommon. Stillness is rare. And emotional strength is something she doesn't come across often. Most men react. Most men chase. Most men try to manage her emotions instead of holding space for them. When she meets a man who simply is not performative, not needy, not trying, she senses something deeper. She feels like she's met someone who doesn't just want her, but someone who doesn't need her to feel whole. That difference is everything. And here's what changes the game. You stop trying to impress her. You start impressing upon her, not through effort, but through presence. Through the quiet strength of being emotionally unmoved, but fully alive, you become the eye of the storm, not chaotic, not forceful, just centered. And when a man is that calm in the middle of emotional intensity, he becomes unforgettable. Because calm isn't weakness, it's control, it's clarity. And, in the end, it's the kind of strength she can't stop craving.